I was in the courtroom as Cassie was testifying, so let me tell you guys everything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak-off where Diddy and another man, an escort, are standing on top of her while she is laying on the floor high off of ecstasy, and they are urinating on her face.
In day 2 of the Diddy trial, Cassie took the stand, but a lot of people have had the question whether or not other celebrity names would be dropped. And in today's testimony, Cassie did mention a few different celebrities.
Yes, I question myself every single day, like why it took so long for these people to come out with these. How many years this was happening, and a lot of people knew that things like this were going on. I've seen a lot of videos, and it is shaking social media in a way I've not seen before. I don't know if you're following up the trial. I have a couple of videos. I'm going to show you what exactly is going in there. If you notice, this is my second video. I promise, like, I will try my best to bring you update on what is going on. Yes, struggling to pick out important information, some videos to show you for people that have been following me for some time. You realize that is what I do. I don't depend on the mainstream media to report news. Reasons you always see me doing it differently. If you love what I'm doing here, please subscribe, share the video, and if possible, check if your notification is on.
In day 2 of the Diddy trial, Cassie took the stand, but a lot of people have had the question whether or not other celebrity names would be dropped. And in today's testimony, Cassie did mention a few different celebrities, and photos were shared with the jury that make people wonder what exactly and who exactly will be brought up in this Diddy trial. The CBS News reporter is commenting in a new interview with Entertainment Tonight in regards to what she witnessed today in day 2 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial.
Might we see take the stand in this case?
You know, there was a moment early on when Cassie mentioned Dallas Austin, who she called a friend who's a producer. So I don't know if that's someone that we're going to hear from. We know that there were pictures shown to prospective jurors that are well-known celebrities, you know, Kanye West, Kid Cudi, Lauren London. We don't know, though, how they fit yet into why they were even asked, do you know these people? Are you familiar with?
So Diddy's defense team wants to tailor exactly some of the explicit photos that might be shared in the court. According to NBC News, they said Combs' attorneys asked the judge today to carefully edit what kind of explicit material is shown in court, saying much of it is considered porn. There is no aspect to any of the videos the government is looking to put into evidence that is not adult porn. That is what it is. People who are defense lawyer Mark Agnifilo said it's privacy issue and it's fee. What would the press do with that if they had it? So according to Robert Balila, an attorney for the news organizations covering the Diddy trial, said that our preference is for the videos to be shown in open court. Testimony is not a substitute for these videos. He says the people in the press should be able to see justice being done and to see if these people were actually being coerced.
Yes, Cassie's testimony in Diddy's trial is shaking social media. This lady was inside. What she said on this video, I had to edit out some word because of the rules governing this platform. Like I said, what I do is just to report the news so you can see exactly what is going on. At a certain point, like this guy said on this video, they don't want to show some of the videos. I'm really wondering how his children are feeling inside that court because of the kind of description that I'm seeing.
I was in the courtroom as Cassie was testifying, so let me tell you guys everything that you didn't see or may have not heard, because it's a lot. I will say the most damning part of her testimony for me is when she describes a freak-off where Diddy and another man, an escort, are standing on top of her while she is laying on the floor high off of ecstasy, and they are urinating on her face to the point where she is choking on their pee. And to further give context, on the right-hand side of the court seated is her husband, Alex Fine. On the left-hand side, Diddy's 6 out of 7 kids are sitting in the courtroom as Cassie is describing having weekly freak-offs for years that would last 2, 3, One lasted up to 4 days. She talked about damaging hotel rooms so bad in one instance that they had to pay such a hefty fee because the hotel told them that they needed to completely redecorate the room after a freak off. After a freak off, there would be urine and lots of baby oil. There was so much baby oil. There was also so much baby oil talk to the point where the judge at one point told prosecutors, wrap it up. But before we even got there, a very pregnant Cassie was called to the stand. She was wearing a tight brown turtleneck dress that was hugging her baby bump. When she sat down, you could tell she was nervous. And if you couldn't, you quickly picked up on it because once she started talking, you noticed that she paused a lot. She would sigh heavily before she answered a question. One of those moments was when she explained to the court that a year into their relationship, that Diddy had approached her with this fantasy that he had. He called it voyeurism, where he wanted to see, later referred to as freak-offs. She said her stomach dropped. She was 22 years old. She described herself as very naive and a people pleaser. She said the only reason that she agreed to it is because she knew it would make him happy and she was afraid what would happen if she said no. That's also around the time, she says, that he started to get...
Something is actually really going on with some people. I was going through social media, watching videos on TikTok to see how people are reacting to it. There are some black people coming out to say these are strategy they always put forward to bring down a successful black man. That is what someone is saying. Not only him, a lot of people are putting out videos like, oh, these are lies. In such situations, what I do is just to laugh and pass. It's crazy, right? So you're trying to tell me that a lady like this will be lying?
The only reason that she agreed to it is because she knew it would make him happy and she was afraid what would happen if she said no. That's also around the time, she says, that he started to get abusive. Most of her testimony today was spent on talking about these freak-offs, the different escorts that they would use, the different hotels that they would use. She said that she would find escorts off of Craigslist and this escort service called Cowboys for Angels. And to describe them, they weren't the most attractive men, right? They were very average looking. Some of them weren't even conventionally attractive. One thing they had in common is most of them were black because Diddy preferred for her black men with a big D, she said. At one point, Cassie broke down in tears when the prosecutor asked her, why didn't you leave? If the freak-offs, as you explained, were so disgusting and humiliating, why not leave? And she started crying and said that she was very deeply in love and this was the only alone time that she could get with Diddy. And it got to a point where this was kind of the only emotional connection that she was getting from this man that she was dating. So much more that I'll cover in another video, including his incessant phone calls, him tracking her down with his security, and her never being able to escape him.
I'm going to start with you, Garagos, because your daughter is one of the lead lawyers defending P. Diddy. So how do you think it's going so far? They picked the jury last week. They had opening statements yesterday and their first and second witness, and they're in the middle of crossing.
When I look at this whole case, it's like I should do the judgment before they even complete the trial. When you take a look at this whole situation and what is currently going on, Megyn Kelly sat down with this father. They discuss about the whole situation. If you know me, you realize I've been reacting to her videos now for some time because I believe she is truthful.
Yesterday, I watched her deliver the opening statement, and I had told somebody who was sitting next to me, I only wish my father was alive to have watched it because he was my partner. And the talent skips a generation. I know she's my daughter. She hit it out of the park.
That's sweet. She was making.
Now, I will criticize the courtroom artist because that bears little or no resemblance to my daughter.
They're never very good. There's a very funny Modern Family episode where Mitchell is in court arguing, and the person who's the sketch artist is somebody who he like dissed in a former life and just makes him look ridiculously bad. And his whole goal is to be drawn more favorably by the sketch artist. We have to rely on sketches because it's federal court and they don't allow cameras in federal court. It's very annoying. But I would say this. I'll go to Eiglarsh on this. I thought she made the only and best argument that's available to Diddy, which is he may be a bad person who you can't stand.
Thank you guys for always been there sharing out my videos. I don't want to make it long. I think I'm going to react to this whole clip with this man when Megyn Kelly talked with him for a very long time. I will do a whole segment on that and post so you can watch the whole video. Now, when you look at this channel, I follow trending news and mostly politics. When it concerns the celebrity topics, I'm not versed with it. I don't really like it that much. I'm doing this for people who have been sending me messages like I should cover this whole situation. I'll be putting out one clip per day so you can see what is going on, updating you till the very end. If you have been supporting me, I appreciate you greatly. For people who don't know, my real name is Ransom. I've been seeing a lot of people asking me, is Umoge your name? No.
Now, Sonny was there. What happened?
Yeah, thank you, Whoopi. I was in the courtroom yesterday, and as many of you know, this is a federal case. It's a racketeering case. It's I did for a living, and I will tell you that it is probably the most disturbing case I've ever heard in my career.
D-list, past its prime, wannabe version of its old self. Speaking of totally out-of-touch leftists posing awkwardly for the camera, did you see the
See any video after this that is just for the YT algorithm.
Over the past week has been overwhelming.
To end. Right is right and wrong is wrong.
These kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts of the case and compare the two. You have to compare who was the initial aggressor.
Bedroom, because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man kill.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Somebody has to say it, so let me be crystal clear.
Once again, the field was littered with Kardashian.
It's just the leftist kind of thinking, and that